the team, the members present?
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Okay, all right.
All right. So, hello everyone. A very good afternoon. This is Shrikant Singh along with Aishwarya V presenting on the topic climate resilient infrastructure. So, under the broad theme of climate change, we heard many speakers speak about the various issues of climate change and the various impacts it has on the human life and various other socio-economic conditions. And in that, a key element, a major focus is the disasters, and the entire debate about disasters. How can it be mitigated, prevented? So, thinking about it logically, are disasters man-made? This is a question I would like to pose. And because if you see a disaster, whether it's a natural disaster or induced by the so-called climate crisis, and any disaster that happens, that it doesn't come ashore with storms or all sorts of floods and bushfires, etc. It doesn't come attached with all of these things, but they are a result of society's interaction with the hazard and the natural environment. So what is the main cause? The main cause of a disaster, which leads to loss of human life and various other losses, is the basic cause is a result of insufficient planning and preparation about by the human society, which exposes the built environment, the vulnerabilities and the risks. So what's the way out of this is thoughtful attention to design construction of the built environment. We can reduce these vulnerabilities and therefore mitigate the risk and lower the loss to human life and well-being. So the entire debate about the climate resilient infrastructure is the key role buildings can play in the climate change adaptation, improving resilience. And that's a very important part in the entire climate crisis scenario. And that is my motivation behind taking up this research in this area. People, due to ignorance and rampant consumerism, are not only demanding more comfort and luxury by building more tall skyscrapers and huge villas, oblivious about the need of the built environment to adapt to the natural environment. So in this context, resilience means the ability of a building to meet the occupant's need for a safe, steady, comfortable use in response to changing outside conditions. And so the solution out is by integrating locally adapted climate adaptation measures instead of the general mortar, cement and steel buildings. We need to look into the natural solutions that's already available, and adapting to climate adaptation measures in post disaster construction, slum upgradations, new construction. Authorities, project developers, funders, and we as a community can come together, educate and motivate people to develop a conducive environment for the promotion of innovative and sustainable business design, that the community progresses towards resilience in the infrastructure. Thank you. And now I invite Aishwarya to continue further.
So since my partner has explained what climate resilient infrastructure is and why we need it in today's scenario, especially considering all the natural disasters that are going around in all the countries around the world, I will now be analyzing the key stakeholders in climate resilient infrastructure and then briefing the research questions that we have in mind in order to take our research further. So with respect to the key stakeholders that are associated with respect to climate resilient infrastructure, the main group here is the citizens, with a special emphasis on the vulnerable groups that are affected due to climate change. It is a no-brainer that climate change affects all the groups in an unequal manner. That in other words, the effect that climate change has is very unequal and is divisive on the basis of race, sex, gender, etc. So we need, when a climate policy is made or written down, when climate resilient infrastructure is taken into consideration, the citizens, especially the state of the vulnerable groups, must be taken into consideration because they are the first group that are affected by climate change or the lack of climate resilient infrastructure. The second main stakeholder that we have is the government, because the government mainly takes forward climate resilient infrastructure, not only in terms of drafting a policy or a law in on the basis of it, but also implementing or building public climate resilient infrastructure, especially in terms of public infrastructure that we have in the country. In countries like India, where public infrastructure is a fast developing topic, especially in the current government, which has taken several measures in order to develop public infrastructure in the country, it is important to integrate climate resilient infrastructure while entering into contracts like PPP, which is needed for the development of infrastructure itself. There is a need to emphasize that this integration of climate resilience infrastructure is important when public infrastructure projects are being undertaken by the government. Another key stakeholder in this issue are the private players, because it's not only necessary for public infrastructure to be climate resilient, but in order to mitigate the damage that is caused by climate change, it is also important that the private players are incentivized by the government to undertake climate resilient infrastructure or take into consideration the impact that it would have on the environment while undertaking private projects itself. Apart from these three main stakeholders, there are other stakeholders like the non-governmental organizations and other smaller stakeholders who are affected by climate resilient infrastructure itself. And by stating this, I would move on to the next part, which is briefing the research questions. So we have two main research questions in mind. The first one is analyzing the key considerations that ought to be factored into while making a policy which has climate resilient infrastructure, and to see the ways in which we can integrate climate resilient infrastructure into many sectors that we have in place today. Because one of the main arguments that are put forward by climate scientists is that there needs to be an integration of climate crisis, or an integration of the consideration of climate crisis into every sector that we see. That is, instead of seeing climate crisis as a separate issue, if we integrate it into every job that we do in daily basis, especially in terms of the sectors that are being undertaken, the climate crisis is becomes much more easier to deal with. So these are the research questions that we have in mind. With that, we finish the presentation. Thank you.